Yo, what is up, guys? Today I wanted to show you. I want to do a vlog because I'm in Thailand and I just felt like doing it. I'm still on the burnout vacation, more or less. But I want to do a little vlog here and just document the experience and have fun with it. As you can see right here, I got the Japanese news going on. There's nothing being said right now, but I usually like to listen to as much of this as possible. It's just people just talking Japanese all the time. And I do this so it gets stuck in my head. That way, the more you hear a language you're trying to learn, the easier it just soaks in. And when you go to learn the language, you can more accurately say things because a plethora of people, when you have a plethora of people saying the same types of words in different ways, then you can kind of find the most common among all of them to use. And that's what I like. But I wanted to show you guys the room. Also, I have a box of tissues here. The garbage thing right here. It's the AC unit. The AC unit up there freaking gave me a cold like the last couple days. Yes, in the winter, no colds. No colds at all in the winter. In the summer, this is cold number two for me. But I wanted to show off the room and really just do a little vlog here. This is really the end of a day for me. Earlier today, I had a rest day. Yesterday, I walked I don't know, like a half an hour to this music store. I thought I was going to get a taxi on the way back, but there's zero taxis around. So today I decided to get the phone number for a taxi. And I'm going to see if I can go to a music store tomorrow and make it something worth documenting. I don't know how good the video is going to be because I'm kind of hesitant when it comes to just like pulling out my camera and documenting things and looking like one of those Instagram people that have to constantly document yourself. But it is what it is. It's the modern age. But let's get on with it. Let's do the room tour. I want to show you the room. Okay, up here we got the big old curtain here. I'll show you this reveal here. It actually looks pretty dang cool at night here, because this is the high rise. This is like the luxury freaking hotel. I had to get this hotel because I originally, like 6 months ago, they had the quarantine for 10 days, and this was one of the only hotels that could do the quarantine. So I was like, I'm just gonna get this, even though it's like not as cheap as the other apartments here in Thailand. Like, well, a lot of things in Thailand are pretty cheap, and like that's a huge reason why I even wanted to come here. It's hard to see out here with this reflection, but yeah, this is basically the room here. You got a chair, you got a table, all this modern junk. And you got the TV. I never use the TV. I probably should just to see what freaking Thailand TV is like. But I basically, I'm a huge internet addict. I just watch the internet. Here's my stupid bed. Stupid freaking bed. I got my converter over here to, you know, what do you say? What do you say? It's a converter for American crap. It's the end of the day. I'm not really in the talking mood. But there's my telephone. There's security box and crap. I got the Nintendo Switch over there. Here's my stupid bag. Originally, my tickets had a carry-on and another bag, but I didn't look when they changed my tickets, and it's only carry-on. So that was a nice little challenge for me. There's my Mitsubishi electric refrigerator, pretty good refrigerator. Here's the free Coca-Cola that never gets drinking, as well as the fruit juice that never gets drinking. Here's my collection of water. They keep giving me, every time they fix my room up, they give me like 2 more waters, and they put it over here on the counter, and every day I gotta move it in here. I tried out this sugar-free tea, and it is very much an acquired taste. I'm not really into like oolong tea or whatever it is, or green tea or whatever that is. I'm more of a Arizona tea, Milo's boy. But this stuff works pretty well. This is the only sugar-free stuff that I could find over here so far. I can't even tell there's anything. I don't think there's any sweeteners. I can't find anything with sweeteners over here. Oh, the fridge is beeping at me. It's cussing. Here's my washing machine. I washed my clothes in this the other day. And I don't know who designs this stuff, but like, let me see. The washer. Let me move this. I'm still getting used to this vlogging thing. The washer, basically, the handle fell off on this baby. Let me start over. Wash my crap. I used one sock just to try it out. Everything worked perfectly. And then I did my real laundry. And the first, just washing it worked great. Then I went to dry it. I dried it all, and then it wouldn't open. It says to wait 5 minutes. I waited 5 minutes, it never opened. And I ended up snapping off this baby and having to call a technician up here just to get it fixed. And he got it fixed, but I'm never using this thing again. Piece of crap. Piece of mold. I'm getting carried away. Here's the microwave. The microwave is something. They have like auto. I don't know what the heck auto is. This is strange to me. Let's see here. It's very strange. But if you want to do like minutes, you got to go all the way from 100 to like 1 down here just to, cook something. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good like setup. I may be complaining a lot, but it's just for entertainment. Like I find this as a net positive, the whole experience. This is my door. Got my stupid door here. Got my my mirror here. Yeah, check that out. Look at myself every day. Yep. Before I leave, hey, here's my bathroom. I don't know why the focus is so crazy. Maybe it has nothing to focus on. Here's the shower. Oh, there we go. Now it's focusing. Here's the freaking shower. Here's my space age toilet. There's like a bidet and all this crap on there. That's it flushing. Yeah, there's the big old mirror again. This is one thing you have to get when you go to Thailand, definitely. SPF 24. They were trying to get me to buy this sales brand, and it didn't have SPF 24. So I had to like 2 or 3 times just tell them, well, I want this one. I don't care how much it is. I'm going to be walking around for a long time. I need like the best sunscreen there is. And so that's what I did. And down here we got the tub here. The tub is actually really nice. I haven't been able to, like, when you live, the last time I could consistently like use a tub was I don't know, like almost 10 maybe more years ago, and it was like the greatest thing ever. There's nothing better than having a super hot bath and at the end of the day and just relaxing, listening to Gregorian chants and, you know, J-pop and all that crap. You know, stuff that a grown man should not listen to, but, you know, that's just how I am. It's raining outside, but yeah, that's basically the room, guys. I just wanted to show it to you guys, and then tomorrow we're gonna do some more vloggy kind of stuff, and you know, just make it fun. I wanted to do this vlog, even though I'm in the burned out thing, but I kind of just feel, I don't know, I just kind of feel like doing it, you know, for fun. There's only so much things you can do in Thailand. Like, it's a great city, but I figured you have to do what just motivates you every day. And I kind of wanted to just do this vlog, and it's like at the end of the day, but I felt motivated. And so let's get on with tomorrow. Hopefully, let's have a good day tomorrow too. Eyeballs. What is up, guys? It's time to go get breakfast now. It's officially the morning, as you can see. See there, sun is out, guns are out. Let's go get breakfast. Check it out. So that was my breakfast down there. As you can see, I ate a ton of fat, a ton of protein, and that's because I usually eat the ketogenic diet in America, but down here you can't be as discerning because it's more about the, you know, it's harder to tell what things are because I can't really read the labels too well. And it's hard to find sugar-free things down here. So I'm just kind of going by the seat of my pants and just going high fat, high protein, and trying to moderate the carbs as much as possible. When I go back to America though, it's all keto again. But, you know, there's a lot of cool things down at that breakfast. It's like going to a 5-star restaurant every single day. I can't believe how good the breakfast is down there. This is probably the snazziest hotel I've ever been at, and yeah, it's really great. And usually the breakfasts at the hotels I would stay at have always been terrible, and the next hotel I'm going to is actually a downgrade because it's cheaper, so we'll see how well the breakfast is down there. But I got a couple hours until I think the music store opens, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do, but seeing that it's my last day at this hotel, I'm tempted to go swimming and hit the weight room again, but we'll see. Okay, I'm back, and you may wonder why the change. Why am I here? It's because I'm back in the USA. I was conflicted a bit on my trip, whether to do a vlog or whether to just enjoy the trip. And that one day I tried to do a vlog. It was great, and but ultimately I just decided just to enjoy it as much as possible. I did do a lot of video clips alongside, and when I got back to the States, I thought, you know, it would have been great to do a real vlog, and that's why I'm here to basically talk about the trip now that I'm back in America. And as you can see, I'm in full vacation mode still for this video. I bought this shirt in Thailand. I bought these Redons, as you can see right there, Redon. It'll focus. I don't know if it'll focus. 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 It's not gonna focus. I bought these Redons, way better Ray-Ban, $4 or $5 down there, and I'm in full vacation mode. I even have my haircut that I got from Thailand. The lady down there that did my haircut, she was freaking amazing. Like I've never had anybody take like an hour on my hair. I thought it would take like 10 minutes. It was just like a off the cuff thing. I was walking around and I was like, you know what, it's been like a couple weeks since I got my hair cut, and I usually cut my hair myself, but I was like, I'm in Thailand, I'll just get my hair cut here. And the lady went crazy with my hair. She shampooed it. I picked out some random guy's haircut on Google, and I'm like, yeah, just give me this type of haircut. And she even went and did like really small little razor edging that I've never seen anybody in America do, at least to my hair. And it was really cool and really neat. Everybody down there was very, very friendly, which is what I like a lot. And it was just a very inviting place to be. And as for the trip itself was kind of like, it was something I always wanted to do. Before the whole C virus, you know what the C virus was? I was set on going to Japan. I'm like, I need to go to Japan. And I felt like this even in my 20s. I was like, I want to go to Japan. I talked to people about going to Japan, and they would be like, nah. They would find excuses. So eventually, now that I'm in my 30s, I was like, you know, I'm just gonna go on my own. I'm just gonna do the things I want to do in life, and that's what I did. That's why I went to Thailand. Japan is still kind of closed right now, and Thailand was my second choice, and they were more open when it came to the whole virus thing. And actually, I started planning this while the virus thing was going on, the pandemic or whatever it was. And it was a challenge. It was a very big challenge for me because, first of all, I haven't really left the country since I was like a kid. The only time I've left the country was to Canada when I was like before 10, somewhere around there, maybe like 5 or 6, I don't know. I didn't really plan that. It's the Niagara Falls, I think. But this, to me, was just like a big kind of growth experiment. I was like, you know what, I want to go out of the country. I want to see what the whole world is like. When you're living in America, it's kind of like living in a bubble, especially just one country. So I wanted to go out and explore and see what things were like. And the entire thing was a challenge as well because there were so many new things to adapt to, so many new experiences, so many challenges, and it really helped me grow as a person, which is kind of cliche, but the more challenges you can take on in life, like, and the more you can overcome them and adapt to what's going on, I think the better off mentally and physically and spiritually you are in general as a person and just going through life. And so this entire trip to me was fun, but it was also a challenge to me, especially being out there for so long. It was almost over a month. It was around 40 days. The reason it was so long was because it originally had a quarantine, and it was for 10 days, and I thought, you know, I could do the 10 days. Actually, it was 14 days, and then they switched it to 10, and then they got rid of the quarantine, and then, yeah, I was there for a whole month, more or less, 40 days, and it was pretty neat because I thought I could do the quarantine, and then I could have 2 weeks in Thailand, more or less, because 2 weeks is a good vacation time. And I had to go through a ton of paperwork at my job as well. And honestly, I'm not great at paperwork, and it was a big challenge for me. But just getting over there was it was really fun. It was really fun. The first week I had definite culture shock. I didn't think I was going to be that sensitive to it, but I was there. The first week I was like, why am I here? What if I can't get back? What if blah, 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 all these what ifs in your head. And a lot of these things that go on mentally, you may just take for granted. Like I took it for granted. I thought, I'm just gonna be here. I'm probably gonna take like a week to adapt, and then I'll be fine. And that's exactly what happened. I took a whole week just to adapt, and once you get used to your surroundings and you get used to what you're doing every day, it doesn't become as overwhelming. And by the third week I was there, I was like, oh, this is where I live now. And a lot of it too, when I went down there, was like, I wanted to see what it was like to just live down there in general. I wanted to see what it would be like to live a life down there, because I've watched a lot of YouTubers down in Thailand, and it looks like a very promising place, at least for my lifestyle. I live very frugally, and I like freedom. I like lots of freedom, and Thailand just seems like the place on planet Earth right now that has a lot of that stuff, especially if you're just coming from a different country. And it looks and feels like a country that was designed for me at this time. But I can't say if I will move there or not. I want to go to Japan still. I would love, like a big dream of mine is just to live in Japan for at least like a year. Another big thing too was just being alone for that long, for 40 days. I've had periods of time when I moved to different cities for a while where you do feel this kind of pang of loneliness. And I think over the years I've just become so, I've just enjoyed my own company for so long, and I've dealt with so many like mental weaknesses or mental like demons that I've become very I don't know, used to myself, I guess more accepting of who I am, and I really didn't feel lonely at all. And a lot of the people down there just in general were really receptive, and they were really open to just talking and just being people, people being people. It's kind of different from America. In America, everybody is kind of in their own little world. And in Thailand, people are a bit more extroverted. I'm not the most extroverted person. I'm very introverted, but it was a nice difference. But it was cool to go to. So I want to continue on the vlog here. I got my phone here, my little phony boy, and I'm gonna go through these pictures, reminisce about the trip, and I'll add in some video clips and pictures as I go along in full vacation mode. So let's see here. The first thing was like the airplane ride. The airplane ride was basically an entire day of just flying. It was like, I think it was like 22 hours total. It was three flights. The first flight was to California, and then the second flight was to Japan, and that was 6 hours. The California trip was an hour and a half or something like that, or maybe 2. Oh wait, no, and California to Japan was 11 hours. That was the longest that was the longest flight I've ever taken in my life. And yeah, you need to be prepared for such a long flight. I basically, all I did on that entire flight was try to sleep the best I could, as well as I played Shin Megami Tensei 3 on the Switch. And yeah, that's all I did. The Japanese flight food was kind of it was different. It was very different, and it was flight food, so it was not the best. But I tried to make a promise to myself as I went down there just to eat everything I could when somebody gave it to me. And I would say like 90% of the time I did that. And the flight food, I just did it. I tried to shut off my mind for some of the worst parts. I try to meditate, which is like the off button of your brain. So I just shoveled it down without thinking, and it was pretty neat. And then the flight from Japan to Bangkok was about 6 hours. That was another long flight. One thing that I will advise you to do is to download videos on your phone as much as possible, and just watch those on the flights or something like that. I had YouTube on. YouTube had like a download option on their app here when I was coming back, and I downloaded a bunch of videos, and I watched like half of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And then when I got back to Japan for one of my other flights, like I linked to Wi-Fi, and then it just automatically was like, oh, you can't watch your videos anymore. And so it was like torture to me to not be able to watch the videos back. But yeah, don't trust YouTube. Get like a third-party downloader on your phone. Download tons of YouTube videos that you watch all the time, and just watch those on the plane. Most of the planes have like one USB jack for you, especially if you're flying economy, and just keep your phone charged as long as possible using that USB charger. Anyway, that was the flight. The flight was cool. It was different, and I prepared for any other flight possible now because I've did 24 hours of flying. To me, by the end of the entire thing, I was just so like used to flying and just so used to going through airports. One thing I realized about airports is that there's no real system for an airport. Everything is just like a case-by-case premise, case-by-case action. There's no like set way to do an airport every single time. You just have to kind of go with the flow and just try to make your way to wherever you're going the best you can. I was trying to figure out like how things work methodically, but it was seat of your pants type of thing going airport to airport, and some of the airlines just did not have their stuff together. And there's many times where I'm just waiting on my airline to even just appear. I'm just like, where are they? I like to do things as early as possible, get things out of the way as soon as possible. That way I could just relax until I have to do the next action. So when I go to the airport, I try to go early, try to get as much done as possible, as early as possible, get to my gate, and then just relax until I can board. And I sometimes you just can't do that, and you have to deal with a lot of these mental ideas, these mental challenges that come up, and meditation really helped me a ton. It was just like, okay, I need to just zone out. Anytime there was like a problem I had in Thailand or on this whole adventure thing, I just had to make sure that I stayed calm, stayed grounded, and meditated, and tried to just become rational when my brain became irrational. And that was a big thing for me, and it helped me out a lot. But anyway, the first hotel I was at, it was the fanciest hotel. I had to get it because of quarantine, and it was kind of pricey, honestly. And then I moved on down to a cheaper hotel, and it was way cheaper. And it was a downgrade, but it was good enough for me. And anyway, I will go on to the mall next to my big fancy hotel, and that was Terminal 21. Terminal 21 was amazing. I could not believe such a beautiful mall existed. There was no like in America, malls are dying, but in Thailand, malls are thriving. Everywhere I went, I Google Maps, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go over here, and then it turned into a mall. Like everything turned into a mall over in Thailand. It was kind of cool because I do like malls, and it had everything you would want, and it had Thai stores. It had international stores like H&M and all these brands, McDonald's, Masubaga was there. It had just everything you would need in it. And Terminal 21 was cool because it was themed like it was an airport terminal, and every layer of the entire mall had a different theme to it. Some had like San Francisco, some were Japan. One was like Roman type of thing, and they had really cool stores there as well. They had PS5s there too, which I asked about. I was thinking about getting a PS5 because they had them, but the price on top of the actual shipping to throw it back to America was about as much as it would be on eBay now still. So I was hesitant to do it. Maybe when I go to Japan, if they don't have PS5s here by then in America, maybe I'll do PS5 just from Japan. We'll see how much the shipping is. I don't know. It would be great to have one. But it was a big mixture of different cultures down there. Like Thai was the prominent culture, but they also had Japanese things, they had Chinese things, Korean stuff, they had Indian culture, Muslims. They had it was just a big hodgepodge of different types of people down there. America is very much a big hodgepodge of different people up here, and down there it was like a different variation of people, and it was pretty neat. It was cool to go to a different country and see how things were different from America, how odd, I guess, not odd, but just how different everything was from America. Because America, when you live here for a long time, you kind of get used to it. And you think this is how the world really is. But going to Thailand, and hopefully when I go to different countries in the future, I can see how different sections of the world work and change. It can really help me get a better perspective on life. I think down there, people in general like kind of have a more similar beliefs that I have than they do in America. They seem more laid back, but they also seem like it's not as materialistic down there. There is materialism down there, but it's not as prominent as it is in America. America is very much like I don't know how to say it. It's very much down to money down in America. Everything is money. And in Thailand, it seemed like people just kind of just enjoyed life to the best they could, and they have economy and all this stuff and all these great first world things, but I think prominently they were just enjoying life. And that's one thing I really like about Thailand. In America, it's kind of like this constant rat race, and no matter if you want to be involved in it or not, it's always there. There's always this kind of like social status race up here in America, and I think it stresses a lot of people out. And in Thailand, it's not as prominent, and I think there's more freedom down there because there's less. I can't really comment on it, but it seems like it's more of a Wild West type place, and there's less red tape down there than in America. But overall, it was more chill, and that's what I liked about it. Anyway, I thought the Japan airline was going to be cool. It was the only time I've ever been in Japan, yeah, the Narita Airport is not as good as it was not as good as I thought it would be. Originally, I was supposed to go to the Osaka Airport, but they changed it over to Narita, and apparently it has a bad rep. And I can see why. It's very big. There's not a lot of cool stuff in it, and the people were really friendly and really helpful. I had people just drop all of what they were doing, drop their hat, and just help me just go out of. They just went out of their way to really help me, and it was really cool. Even in Thailand, people were very receptive to helping me, and I'm a very independent person. I like to do things as best I can on my own, but down there I really had to rely on people, and it was kind of nice. It was kind of therapeutic for me, because a lot of times in America, when you ask people for help, like, they are in their own little world, and that's just a byproduct of the American culture. But people, sometimes people will help you out in America, but it's not like they're not as present as people like that I talk to over in Thailand and in Japan. They seem more. I think it comes down to the culture, really, because we are definitely more of a rat race and getting things done type of culture over here in America, and where in Japan as well as in Thailand, they're more into Buddhism, and they're more into like presence and trying to. They have this idea of karma and things like this, where we are all one, and helping other people is nice. And honestly, I try my best to get into that mindset. I am very much wired to be this kind of like to do things all the time, get in my own head type of way. But the older I get, and the more, I guess, wise, I don't know. It's hard to say you're wise or not. The more adaptable I become as years go on. I think I'm trying to become more of this oneness type of guy, where it's just like life is a crazy tornado, and it's always changing. Everything is temporary. Everything is just constantly changing, and you have to adapt. The only security you really have in life is just your ability to adapt to each situation, and it was really neat. So let me get back onto the pictures here. Just looking around, I walked around a ton. Thank God for Google Maps and Travel Sim. The Travel Sim I bought was just at a 7-Eleven. I went to a 7-Eleven, and I was like, just give me the best. What is the best SIM card you have? And they gave me this 30-day SIM card. I think it was TrueMove for $10, and it was awesome, and it helped me a ton out. And if you're down there, just buy a TrueMove $10 SIM card, and it was amazing. I wish they had those in America. I think the closest thing they have down here is like $45, $50 for it, and well, anyway, it would be great if it was $10, but it was great to have data as well as an ability to call people down there. I had my Thai phone number. It was pretty cool, and I used Google Maps everywhere, and it was great. And I walked a ton of places. That was one thing that I really love doing. Here where I live, it's kind of a small town, and walking around is not exactly like ideal. You can do it, but I don't know. I don't really enjoy the environment down here too much, and so I live a very hermit, introvert type of life down here. But yeah, being able to just walk around and just enjoy the country was what I wanted. I didn't really make a ton of plans. I just was like, my way of traveling is like buy the plane ticket, go where the action is, and just walk around and make a day out of things and explore. It's kind of like a video game mindset where you're just throw me in the country, throw me in the land, and let me just explore. Don't give me that tutorial mode type of stuff. I just want to do the Breath of the Wild thing where I can just walk around, the Fallout 3 type of thing. Just get me out of the vault, let me explore and see what I like, what I don't like. And the touristy stuff I did do was stuff I found off of Google Maps. Like when I started running out of stuff to really do walking around, and it really helped me move on and check places out. Anyway, the breakfast at the first hotel was immaculate. They had shrines everywhere. The nightlife was amazing as well. While I was on jet lag, more or less, it's basically your internal clock changing over to whatever country you're in. And so while I was down there, I was more interested in the daytime things and just what it was like living. But I've also witnessed the nightlife, and the nightlife down there is just amazing. I would say it's probably the best nightlife experience you can have anywhere, especially compared to America. Everybody in the nightlife was so chill. If you have any vices of any kind, you can definitely indulge in those vices. I think as long as you have some self-discipline and you're not easily led, well, maybe not led, but if you're not easily, like, I don't know, as long as you got a control and grip on yourself, you'll be fine with the nightlife. But you can easily just go overboard and be an addict to all of the things that come with the nightlife in in Thailand. But overall, it was great. And if it was still my scene, I would definitely be doing it. But I'm not really a drinking type of guy anymore. I'm not really the nightlife kind of guy. I did that in my 20s, but I'm not. I don't know. It's just not my thing. It's just, I don't know. It's just not healthy. It's just not healthy long term. Every now and then, great, but doing it every day, not my thing. And I don't really want to hang around people regularly that party all the time, because I don't want to become a party guy. Every now and then it's great, but not on a regular for me. Anyway, let's get back here. I took a tuk-tuk ride. Tuk-tuk ride was great, and I did witness my first scam with a tuk-tuk driver, and he was like, "Oh, I wanted to go to the mall," and he's like, "Oh, the mall's closed. Let me take you to this clothing store." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's cool," because it seemed like I don't know, he seemed like a cool guy. And I was like, "Yeah, you want to go to this clothing store and the mall's closed? Sure, let's go to this clothing store." I thought he wanted to go, and yeah, I went there, and it was like an Armani place. I'm not sure if it was really Armani or not, but the people. I went in there, they sat me down, and this guy was hard selling me on buying a suit. I'm not a suit guy, and sometimes being too nice can be a bad thing. But I have like a switch in my head. So I'm generally very nice to people until like 2 or 3 times. There's a certain amount of time until this switch hits. And once the switch is hit, which is what happened at the store, I just completely lose all empathy. All empathy is gone. I just got up and left, and I was like, just take me to the mall. And that never happened again on my trip, because when it came to tuk-tuk drivers and taxi drivers, I was just super direct. And I said, just take me here. I don't want to go anywhere else. And that's what you have to do in order to not get scammed down there. First time getting scammed, that's fine. Second time, that's on me because I allowed it. There was another time I did almost got scammed as well. There was a taxi driver, and he owed me like, I gave him a high bill. It was like 500 baht. I can't remember, but he owed me 100 baht, because he gave me money back. I'm like, this doesn't seem like a lot. This doesn't seem like the change. And I think it was 100 baht he owed me, and I had to tell him like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, no, more. He kept giving me like 20s. Eventually, I got my money back, but after that, I learned to just give as close to the amount of money to taxi drivers as possible, just so that wouldn't happen again. But if it did happen again, I don't like to be that guy that is super assertive and has to like basically be the bad guy. Oh, no, I wouldn't say bad guy, but I don't really enjoy being a jerk. But I think it was well deserved for that guy because he was trying to take advantage of me. But yeah, you have to adapt to the environment, and so I adapted to the environment. But anyway, I went down there. It was a great time. I've seen Top Gun Maverick down there, and it was all in English. There was Thai subtitles. It was a really good movie. The movie theater was awesome. I also seen Jujutsu Kaisen. I think I'm saying that name right. Down there, I was kind of hoping that it wouldn't have subtitles because, all like English subtitles, because I was hoping that I could use my limited Japanese to see, kind of figure out what was going on. Another cool thing about the movie theater too is like, instead of the Pledge of Allegiance that we do here in America, we don't do it for movies or anything, but for movies down in Thailand, they had like basically the Pledge of Allegiance for the king. And they're like, stand for the king before your movie starts. And so I stood for the king before the movie started, and it was different, and it was pretty neat to do. I went to a lot of different music stores down there as well. The music store I was talking about in the previous clips was pretty neat too. One thing I did notice about music stores down there is at least the ones I went to, they were higher end things. Like I was expecting it to be like more of a broader range where it had like, I don't know, Squires up to Paul Reed Smiths, but a lot of the stuff I found down there was like high range stuff. It was like Friedman's, PRS's, and stuff that's kind of expensive, especially here. And you would think it'd be cheaper in Thailand, but it wasn't cheaper. It was all the same prices you would pay in America. But they might have some Thai guitars that are cheaper down there. I'm not exactly sure. I'm trying to fix my phone here. I have a billion pictures. Anyway. Oh man, okay. This is gonna be a long video. If you're watching this, I thank you. I tried a Whopper down there. Wanted to see what the difference was between American Whopper and Thai Whopper. The Whopper down there is slightly more tangy. I even did this with the Big Mac. The Big Mac was the same. It was exactly the same. Kudos to McDonald's. I went to a bazaar down there that had like knockoff Nikes, knockoff Gucci, knockoff everything down there. And it was pretty neat to go to. The people down there were real salesmen about everything. And that was pretty neat. They hard pressing me to buy things. I bought a ton of souvenirs from this old lady, and she had all these lucky cats that were really Japanese. There's a lot of friends I have that are more in Japan than they are Thai, so I bought a lot of these people these lucky cats, and I thought they were pretty cool. And I bought the people that were not as into Japan Thai stuff like Buddha and elephants and things like that. They had, I'm really into holistic vitamins and holistic health and all that stuff, and they had a good amount of vitamins down there. I think Shopee.com is their Amazon, and if you want to get real specific vitamins, that's where you want to go. But overall, they had good vitamins down there. There was like a cat in the pharmacy, one of the pharmacies I went to. That was pretty neat, and they had a lot of just just animals around. There was like stray dogs and stray cats, and it was pretty cool to see a lot of these animals, and they were all pretty friendly. Like there was a couple times there were like dogs that just went crazy. There was a canal I would go to this one mall that at the end of the canal there was like a gate it was behind somebody's house, and this dog would just it was so calm and peaceful walking down this canal. Here's a picture of the canal, video of it. And then at the end of it, there would just be a dog just barking the crap out of you, and it would really make you aware again, which was kind of a good thing, because that goes to my next point, which is the traffic. The traffic down there is absolutely bonkers. You definitely need to adapt to it. I think that was the thing that scared me the absolute most the first week I was down there, but I adapted to it. I was like, how do people even survive down here, having to move through this traffic? And in America, like, you can wait for an entire road to just stop and let you pass, and that's a great thing about America. The stop signs, people actually stop at the stop signs, they stop at the crosswalks. In Thailand, it's free for all. It's like if you've ever seen fish going through a river and bumping into each other, and they're just slightly next to each other. They're just all moving, and it's the Wild West, like I said, and you have to adapt to that. In order to cross the road over there, you have to do it Frogger style. You see a car pass, you walk as close to it as possible, let that car pass, go up to the next one, let that pass, keep doing that. I would also like wait for half the road to clear out, walk into the middle of the road, wait for the second half of the road to clear out, walk through that, and you definitely have to adapt. You definitely have to be aware. If you're new there, watch the locals, do exactly what the locals do, and you'll generally be fine. You just need to have some common sense. I could definitely see if you're like slightly in a daze getting hit by a car down there. So it was nuts, absolutely crazy. But let's see here, what else I got on here? Ronald McDonald, he was doing the Thai thank you, the bow. It was pretty neat. What else? Yeah, the canal was great. It had boat ferries on it. I never took one, but I walked down the canal a ton. There was fish and aquariums on the roads. There were some slummy parts as well as some really nice places. Generally, I just accepted it all for what it was. I think it was just a nice place. Eventually, I started to just wash my clothes in the sink, as well as I'm a very frugal person, so I didn't eat out every single day. To me, I only ate out and did things when I felt like it. There was no point, like if it was just a day where I just didn't care to eat out, I bought a ton of groceries wherever I went, and they had 7-Elevens everywhere, so I just bought like $20 worth of food, and that was enough for an entire week of just eating if I wanted to. And I would go out when I felt like going out. I would eat out when I felt like eating out, and I would do expensive things when I felt like doing them. But yeah, just it was pretty easy. I wasn't on the keto diet because it was kind of hard to adapt to it down there, especially moving around every single week. I changed hotels basically every week, and I just tried different locations and tried things out. And eventually I started washing my clothes in the bathroom, in the sink, because I found it to be the most reliable way to wash my clothes. And I found a YouTube video where he was doing it with shampoo, and I was like, this is cool, and it worked really well. You basically just throw your clothes in the sink with shampoo, wash them like that, drain them out, fill up the sink again with just pure water, have that be your rinse cycle. Wash them out and dry them, and then just leave them on the shower for like an entire day or two, and your clothes are dry and clean again. I also had Thai food down there. Like, I can't remember what this place was called, but I found it on Google Maps, and it was like a five. It was like 4.5 to 5 stars, and it seemed like a very local place. It wasn't really like trying to be flashy and tourist friendly, I guess. And I just went down there. I walked down there and had some sausages down there, as well as some steak later on. And it was amazing, especially with the Thai iced tea I had there. I haven't had Thai iced tea in like 10 years. But it was still great. One thing that I learned about Thai iced tea as well is that it has caffeine in it. It has about as much caffeine as a Mountain Dew. And if you know me, I haven't been on caffeine in like an entire year. I haven't had a good track with caffeine. And so when I did drink the Thai iced tea down there, it was like being high on life. And it was pretty crazy just to get that high again, I guess. But some of the best days I had down there was just like being high off of iced tea. And I'm back on the no caffeine train, and I definitely limited my Thai iced tea after that. And yeah, it was pretty neat. I had ramen down there, as well as a lot of Japanese food. The Japanese food was really good. There was this place called Okasan's, which I think is which is Japanese for mother, and it was really freaking good. It was down. I don't know how to say the name of this place. Samit Prakin. I can't remember, but it was when I went to Ancient City. Ancient City is kind of a touristy place. It's about like ancient shrines and all that, and it was humongous. But the Okasan's down there, it was the food, like, I think it may have been the first time I can't remember the last time I had Japanese food. I think it's been like 15 years, maybe. I can't remember. But like, I just ordered stuff that looked cool and sounded cool, and I just ate it. I have no real experience with Japanese food, or really just, I've eaten Asian food, but I've never been like, I've never been so familiar with it that I can just say what's good and what's not. So I just picked stuff that looked cool, and that's what I ate. And honestly, I kind of like doing that. Even when I go to any restaurant, I'm just like, I usually just kind of almost pick at random now, and I just kind of enjoy the novelty of eating something different and something out there. But yeah, I had ramen there, real ramen. I'm used to like the freaking bagged ramen here in America, and not this exquisite like Japanese ramen that you see in Naruto and things like that. But I had that down there, real ramen, and I had real Japanese food. I ate at Okasan's, which is like a local Japanese restaurant, as well as I think it was called Mount Fuji restaurant, which is really good too. And I had like a bento box, and I've never had a bento box before in my life, and it was amazing. So let me talk about the Ancient City. The second place I went to after being in the city was Ancient City, which is kind of nice. Ancient City was, it's all ancient stuff down there. It's all like shrines and things like that. And I honestly like that hotel room the best, because it seemed like the most chill and the most like non-modern. It was modern and contemporary, but it seemed like it had a bit more personality than the other ones I went to. And there were shrines all over the place. I didn't realize how big that place was, and it was definitely worth going down to. By the time I was done with my first week or two, I can't remember exactly when I went down, but I was kind of getting sick of the city life, and I wanted to go somewhere where it was a bit more quieter and country-like, and this was still kind of it was still in the city, but it was a quieter place, especially in the park itself. There was a lot of jungle, there was a lot of green nature, things like that, and it was a great place to go. It was a place I found on Google Maps because I was looking for shrines. I was like, I want to go see a shrine. And that was the definite place to go for shrines. It was like the Keto of freaking Thailand. You see shrines everywhere, everywhere. My hotel was located in the middle of this entire park, and I thought there was like a Buddhist shrine outside of it. I thought that was all Ancient City was. It took me like a day to do. Well, it didn't. The Buddhist place, it took me like, I don't know, maybe 3 hours to do, and I thought that was it. I thought that was it. I took all the pictures I could over there, and then I realized after I looked at the map how amazingly enormous the place was. So the next day I went to the back side of the park, which was enormous. And it took me all freaking day. Like this was like a real experience. And it was some of the best times I had down there. It was all shrines. It was all just cool Thai things. Some of them were original, and some of them were manufactured to recreate the past. And I just had a great time down there. The grand scope of all these shrines are so beautiful, as well as the lakes, as well as the natural environments. It's been such a long time since I've been really in nature too, where when I would get to these points where it was just pure nature, it kind of gave me some nostalgia, because my entire childhood, a lot of it was just in nature, because my family lived out in the country, and just getting back to just grass and soil and water is a big thing, especially when you lived in a city, lived in a town for long enough. You kind of forget how beautiful the world just naturally is when it comes to just nature. And I had a great experience with Ancient City. It was awesome. And I would definitely recommend it if you were going down to Thailand. It was like, I think $17 to go there, but you definitely get your money's worth down there, and it was amazing. My phone keeps screwing up here. And anyway, I took so many freaking pictures of it. There was one time when I was down in Ancient City where I had a dinner. Kind of, like I said earlier, I tried to finish everything when it came to food. And one of the meals I had down there, they were like, "You want it spicy?" And I like spicy food, so I'm like, "Yeah, just give me just spicy, 100%. I don't care." I did the Reaper. I did the Carolina Reaper. That was a mistake. There was one day, like after I ate that. The day I ate it, I felt normal. The day afterwards, oh my God. It felt like the day after the Carolina Reaper, except maybe a bit more mild. The Carolina Reaper, it was like the flu. And every time like I could feel my body digesting the Carolina Reaper, it would flare up my entire body temperature. I'd have diarrhea, I'd be puking, stuff like that. But this was kind of like the same thing, except more mild. But I did feel like I was dying that day, and I did not leave the room whatsoever the day after eating this spicy freaking rice meal I had. Yeah, I felt like I had diarrhea, and I could feel it moving through me the entire day, and it took an entire day just to get back to normal, and I do not recommend doing that. And so when it came to eating everything, I decided 90%. I'm gonna eat 90%, and if it's something spicy, I'm just going to avoid it because I want to make the most of my time down here. I don't need another flu-like day. Now that I'm back in America, I'm eating hot stuff again. But yeah, sometimes it's just too hot, and my digestive system just does not like that type of stuff. Let's see here, shrines. I have so many freaking pictures of shrines here. Okay, let's talk about the ocean here. Down when I was around the ancient city area, it was the closest to the ocean I could get. I thought the ocean was going to be like really blue and beautiful, like Phuket and these other areas of Thailand, but it was not. It was actually kind of underwhelming. It was it was like it was like with docks and people working on it, and it was the grand scope of the ocean was amazing. I love it, but it was not like this beautiful beach that you see like entrepreneurs make on their splash page to get you to buy their stupid courses. It did not look like that. But I found this beach dessert restaurant down there, and it was freaking fantastic. One of the best days I ever had down there. As I was walking down there too, it was kind of shady, so I was kind of afraid of feral dogs chasing me. But I never witnessed that. There were dogs down there, but they were nice, and they weren't like they did not chase me. I had in the back of my mind, that's like a fear I have, because I had a couple dogs chase me as a kid, but I just overcame it. Like I said earlier, it's fear is your best friend. You just have to accept it and go through it, you know. And I did that, and I got to the ocean, and it was awesome. It was one of the best days I had down there. I had a freaking Thai iced tea, caffeinated. Yeah, they're all caffeinated. I didn't realize I was high off of caffeinated Thai iced tea, and it was so freaking good. And I had a seat looking at the ocean while I was doing it, and I also had Nutella ice cream, and oh my god, it was so amazingly good. Yeah, it was definitely one of the best views I ever had down in Thailand. Like, I still remember it to this day. When I go to my happy place, it's that in Majora's Mask, the freaking clock town of that place is where I go. And, yeah, it was a great time. The restaurant was decorated amazing. The people there were really nice and compassionate, and it was just a fun time. It had that beach vibe. It was very sunny that day, and it was like the perfect summer day. When you think of a perfect summer day, like from a slice of life anime or something like that, that's what it was like. Okay, let's see here, what else? I went to a bazaar down there, like a nighttime bazaar. It was pretty cool. They had a ton of like local tent shops going. I found some cool music down there. They had like a concert playing, as well as like they were playing like old pop hits from Asia down there, and I found this cool like punk Japanese type of pop song down there that was really good too. I would play it on here, but it's probably copywritten. They had bunnies down there. They had this place where it was called, what was it? Shaw Bear. Shaw Bear was amazing, and I got one of these Shaw Bear like drinks, and it was the first of my ice cream milkshake addiction down there. After that, like every other day, I would get a freaking milkshake. I had milkshakes of all kinds. I had mostly chocolate, but I would change it up every now and then. I tried black sesame seed milkshake at this Japanese store I went to, as well as a Sakura one, as well as like this this pink tea. I think it was like rose something tea. I don't know. It just looked really appealing, so I got it. There's something about like ice cubes and pink liquid that just like makes me so thirsty. I don't know why. So I had to get it, and yeah, it was a great time. One time when I came back from the nighttime bazaar, where I was at, the ancient city, it was closed. Like I could have went down to some other road to get to my hotel, but the main road, they had the gates closed, and it was one of those oh crap moments. I'm like, how the hell am I gonna get into my hotel? Is the hotel still closed? Is it closed? And so I basically had to improvise, and I went through this like to the side of the gate. They had this freaking display, so I went through this display and made it back to my hotel perfectly fine. The ambience going back to my hotel was nice and peaceful, but inside my head I was like, oh, I hope they didn't close, blah blah blah. I hope I can get to my hotel. I don't want to be sleeping out here in the middle of the earth here. Anyway, yeah, great times. Another thing is, I was surprised that Project 64 worked on my laptop, so I played through a ton of Majora's Mask down there on my downtime. I did take some rest days. There were days that freaking just walking around in the sun for long periods of time will just drain you. And some days, like, you just don't want to do it. So some days I just took time for myself and just enjoyed the hotel life and just enjoyed the introvert hermit life, and that's what I did. Played a lot of Majora's Mask. I found a bidet down there, like one of these space age toilets. First time I found this was at the Japan Narita Airport, and they had bidets and seat warmers and crazy space age toilets. I never tried one before in my life, and I would say they're life changing, but okay, so my camera decided to turn off because it's too hot. But so I got a new camera here, and let's continue on. We were talking about space age toilets. First one I seen was at Narita Airport, and it was crazy. And they had some at the hotels as well as some at the malls I went to, and it was just a new experience, more or less. And I wouldn't say they're bitter. Anyway, I went to this one pizza place as well, and they did like real Italian style pizza. They cooked it in a real like type of stone oven, whatever they do over in Italy, and it was extremely good. It was called Peppina's. Definitely worth going to. I just found it on my way, just walking around. I'm like, this looks pretty cool. I remember seeing a freaking onsen as well on the way there. And later on, I went to that onsen, and it was amazing. Let me talk about that a little later. And anyway, let's see here. I went to an aquarium as well. The aquarium was kind of expensive. This was another thing I found off of like Google Maps. I was just looking around for things to do because there's only once you walked around so many times, you kind of found a ton of things to do. But Google Maps helps you to go out of your way to find things that are even more out of your way that would be cool to do, that aren't super locally, they aren't as accessible if you're just walking around. And I found this aquarium. It was kind of expensive and it was kind of out of the way, but it was definitely worth it. And another thing is when you go out of your way to find something like that, like it was not in the vicinity that I wanted to be at. So I walked there, and as you're walking there into this new area, you're finding different things, exploring different things, and it's just really neat to see just opening up like your aspect of what Thailand is and your area, kind of like a video game. Like I said, you kind of get to know the area, and it was pretty cool. The aquarium was amazing. It had freaking everything in it: seahorses, fish, sharks. I took this glass boat tour as well, and we seen everything underneath the water, and it was really cool. And they had a lot of cool stuff, and it was kind of neat seeing just the people enjoying it. It was that was the one thing. It was like you grow up in America all your life, and you're kind of used to the way people are down here, but it's to me it's baffling. I don't know why it is baffling, because it's so common to think that people are just people everywhere, because they did the same types of stuff that American people generally would do over here in America, and it was just from a different shade. Like, they're speaking a different language, they look a bit more different, but they're still doing the same type of stuff that American people would do. And I don't know, I just found that like juxtaposition, I don't even know if I'm using that word right, to be kind of interesting. I think the difference would have been crazy. Oh, they had penguins there too. Penguins are awesome, and it was just a beautiful aquarium. I haven't been to an aquarium in a long time, and one thing that was cool about this trip was here in America, I live the introvert life, and I do the same things like every week, and it just can drive you crazy after a while. And I remember like a month before this trip, I was like, I need to do something. I need to like go to a big city or do something that shakes up my life, because I'm getting really just bored here doing the same stuff over and over again. And the Thailand trip definitely helped, because it really just threw me out of my comfort zone. And honestly, even when it was time to go to do the Thailand trip, I wasn't even ready to do it. I planned it like 6 months ahead. I was like, okay, let's do this. I was excited 6 months ago to do this, and then when it came, I'm like, I guess I'll do it. But it was, it's emotions. Emotions come and go. They change. And once I got there to Thailand, once the exciting things started happening, just going on the airplane, like that's when it really kicked in. It was like that adrenaline, that type of, this is the spice of life type of thing. It was just the shake-up I needed in my life to just kind of bring myself back to just enjoying life again. I think when your life just becomes very systematic and kind of like same thing every day, same thing every week, life just gets duller doing that. And I think shaking up every now and then is good for your mind. And Thailand definitely did that for me. And with that said, even if I stayed in Thailand and just explored things all the time every day, that would probably get boring as well. And so when I came back from Thailand after like exploring and doing all this fun adventuring things, I've actually been really like craving just grinding things out again. There's nothing like getting back to grinding, getting back to working hard, working on your craft, working on the things you love and you're disciplined about, and trying to build things. I really, when I came back, that's what I want to do. In Thailand, I wasn't, probably the most I was doing was practicing Japanese every day for 20 to 40 minutes. And I wanted to bring my guitar down there so I could continue practicing, but it was just impossible with my carry-on. And when I came back, it was like, I don't know, I had a fire. I was like, let's do this. Let's freaking just grind things out. I like to grind. I like to work hard. I like to play hard, I guess. I don't know, however you say. I think there's a real balance in life. There's nothing. You appreciate the work when you've rested long enough, and you really appreciate the rest when you've worked hard enough. And that's one thing that I really like the dynamics of. And there's nothing better than just working really hard, like for the first half of the day, and then the second half of the day you just can relax and enjoy yourself and feel like you deserve it. And I think the Thailand experience and my regular everyday experience is they're like peanut butter and jelly. It's just to work hard and enjoy yourself. Also went down to Big C down there. Big C is like the Walmart of Thailand. And one big thing that was different was they had like meats, just like raw meats out there. You would never see that in America because of health reasons or things, but down in Thailand it was just common. And honestly, it's kind of cool to see something that different and out there. Anyway, I used the bot down there. I used like a converter. You had an app here, so I would just convert it to American dollars just to see how much it would be. Generally, I'm pretty good with financial management when it comes to like how much I'm spending. What I like to do is I just, in my notes in my phone, I just write down the total every time I go somewhere. So for this, I wrote down the total for the bots, and then I would just convert it over to USD every time and see how much I was spending. And overall, I left Thailand with under budget, and it was pretty cool. And I did so much stuff that was expensive, and I just wanted to do. But yeah, another big thing was the Japanese mall I went to. There was like subsections of different cultures, and there's this Japanese mall I went to, and it had like this Japanese grocery store, had Japanese, had a hostess club there I went to, which honestly was kind of disappointing. I've never been to a hostess club, but it was like, yeah, screw it, I've never been here, let's try this out. Oh, it was a hostess club. It was a maid cafe. Okay, it was a maid cafe. I wanted to try it out, and honestly, it was kind of disappointing. I think I got there a bit too early because I came later on, like the next day, and it seemed more bustling. And I probably should have went then, but from my experience, it was all right. I'm planning on trying one out in Japan. We'll see how it goes, so I can get the full experience. But yeah, it was different. And on the top floor, they had like this Japanese kind of arcade. It was arcade slash sports center. They had batting cages. They had basketball. They had this climbing mountain wall, and I did all that stuff. They had like tennis and all this cool stuff. And they even had Taiko Drum Master as well as this neat like horse arcade game. And it was really fun going there. It was just like, I don't know, I felt like I was in Persona 5 with the freaking batting cages over there. And honestly, it was one of those things where you're just walking around and you found something really cool. And honestly, I went back a couple times because it was so fun. And what else was there? It was, the grocery store. The grocery store was amazing. I took video of that, and I'll post it here. You can take a look at it. It was so beautiful. Like everything in there was just cool. It had like Gundams in there. It had like all the Dragon Ball figures, all the weeby things that every Japanese enthusiast would love down there. And it was really cool. There was also they had the ice cream milkshake parlor or whatever it is in the Japanese grocery store. That's where I had the black sesame milkshake, which was extremely good. I was gonna get chocolate again, then I was like, screw it, let's try something different. Let's do something crazy, something bold. So I tried that, and it was really good, as well as the Sakura shake, which I had a couple days later, and that was really good as well. And a big thing, probably one of the most memorable times I had was the first time I walked into that mall, there was like, all I heard was bass thumping. I was like, what is going on? Oh, I guess they're having a concert over there. And then I go and look at the concert, and it's like a J-pop concert. And I was like, oh, that's neat. So I took a little video of it. And then I went to the grocery store upstairs, and then I was like, you know what, I kind of want to see more of that J-pop concert. If you know me, like, it's a guilty pleasure of mine to like J-pop. And so I found, I went back to the concert, and I was above the concert, which was pretty neat because, like, you could see the fans themselves. The fans themselves, in my opinion, were just as entertaining as the performers. Like, they knew every single word. It was like almost all guys. It sounded to me like samurai chanting in the store. I'm like, what is going on? I thought this J-pop band was like all girls, but I'm hearing like freaking low rumblings of samurai going on. I'm like, what is going on? And so I went out there and I videotaped like an entire song performance, and it was one of the craziest concerts I've ever been to, because the audience is so into it. It was like, I don't know, it was really kind of electric to be there, and it was one of the best days I had there. And honestly, I think about that all the time. If you watch the video, and like, the crowd knows everything, especially like a couple of guys in the front of the audience, like at the barricades. They knew every single word. And there was a guy with a freaking cape on, like it was like a garbage bag cape, and he was crowd surfing, and somebody was like playing around with the cape itself, looking like it was flying, and he was doing the Superman pose like this to the front of the concert, and it was just insane. And later on in that little song they did, all the girls would get together and do like this kind of choo-choo train thing on stage, and then I panned over to the freaking audience, and they're all doing this freaking choo-choo train thing as well, and I'm like, this is beyond bonkers. And that was such a surprise for me. It was like, I probably will remember that concert until I'm dead, because it was just so like different and so like unexpected. It was really cool. Anyway, it was bonkers, man. Anyway, yeah, eventually I figured out how to use the subway around the last week or two. Oh, not the subway, but the SkyTrain over in Bangkok, and it was so amazing. It was one of those things where I felt like fear to do it because I didn't understand it. I didn't really understand how to use it. I watched like a YouTube video the day beforehand to see how to use it, and that video helped me out a lot. And it was such like a rush to actually just use the train. I can't like that. Like I haven't used the train in a really long time. The last time I used the train was like one of those old freaking Pennsylvania trains. I think at Drake's Well, and that is definitely not the type of train that I would use. But like this was just a sky train. It was like you know, a city train, and it was really cool. You could go anywhere for like under $1 more or less, and it was just like, if I go down there again, I'm definitely using the train. It was really cool. I got this certain high off of just going the first time. Just the experience was so new and fresh to me. It was like the first time you drove a car, you're like, oh my God, this is so freaking awesome. Like I was afraid of doing this, and then I did it, and now it's so rewarding. Now I don't know, I was mixed emotions about it. It was so, well, not mixed emotions. It was just like something I was scared to do. I did it, and then it kind of became like an addiction. I was like, I remember the next day being like, I kind of want to do, I don't really need to go anywhere, but I kind of want to use the train again. And so I would just purposely like go places on the train again, just so I can use the train again. It was pretty fun. Let's see here. Hostess Club, yes. I mean the Maid Cafe. Also, another thing about that Japanese park, the basketball thing was made by Atlas. A huge fan of Atlas. Also found these freaking Michael Jackson socks for a buddy of mine. I was just walking down the road, and like there was like store tents and stuff around, and like people selling local goods around everywhere you go. And they had these Michael Jackson socks, and me and my buddy are probably the only people who worked on my team that actually care about Michael Jackson. So I was like, yeah, you would love these. And so I bought him some Michael Jackson socks, and they were pretty cool. Let's see here. One of the last weeks too, I did the onsen. I went to this private onsen. I wanted to go to an onsen for a long time, and I forgot about even doing it. Like, to me, it's more of a Japanese thing than a Thailand thing. But I found one when I went to that pizza place, Pepina, and I was like, that would be cool to go to. So I went on Google Maps, typed in onsen, and I found this private onsen that was somewhat expensive, but like if it was compared to, if that service was in America, it would be like 4 or 5 times as much. But down there it was pretty cheap for what it was. It was like 150 USD dollars. But here in America it'd probably be 500 to 1,000. Just the way we work over here. Anyway, yeah, it was a funny story about that onsen. Like I booked it. It was one of the last days I was there, and I wasn't gonna do it originally, and then I was like, it was one of those things that festers in your mind. Like, I need to just do this, because I'm only here once. YOLO, you know, any YOLO moments. And so I basically went, and I was like, I wanted to just go and do it, but you had to make an appointment. So I made an appointment like, I think it was like the day before I had to leave. No, it was like the day before I had to leave to go to the airport. It's like the last thing I did. But it's still on my mind. It was still something that I'll probably never forget. But the story about it was kind of funny because I had to do, I did some like C virus testing before. I didn't really need it, but I did it just in case because you never know with the airlines. And so I had to wait around that day to get my results. And so the day before that, I made an appointment for this private onsen. And yeah, I was waiting around for some results. And then I kind of got lost in getting the results, like mentally, and then I was like, oh shoot, I need to go to that onsen like now because I have that appointment. And so I typed in Google Maps real fast, onsen. I thought the one I was going to was the actual onsen I was gonna go to, but it turned into like, because I went a day before, and sometimes with Google Maps they'll put you on like some weird alternative route back, and so I thought the entire time was this weird alternative route back to this place, but it turned to be this completely different onsen, and it was a half an hour away, and yeah, it took me another half an hour to get back to the onsen that I made appointment at, and I was late like 10-20 minutes, but I ran, like I freaking ran all the way through Thailand just to get to that onsen again. And by the time I did the onsen, I was so hot and sweaty. And then when you go to the onsen, it's already like the entire room is like a sauna itself. It's already hot. There's a sauna in there, and the hot spring, or this, what is the onsen, whatever it is already like super hot. And I was out of breath and like completely tired. I was like in the worst mood possible to go into an onsen, because usually like when it comes to something like that, you want to at least be kind of like normal temperature or cold, and then go to an onsen, so you have that like the dynamic of relaxation. But to me, I was just like sweating bullets. I was already hot as all heck, and I was there in this freaking hot tub, this onsen, this sauna, hot spring, whatever it is. I'm not too good with the tech. I don't know what the difference is for a lot of these things, but I wanted to go, and yeah, I did the onsen, and it was 40 minutes in the onsen, and I was there trying to relax, meditate, and it did calm me down, because I was in this kind of like, gotta get there, gotta do this mode to get back to the onsen and find where I was supposed to be at. And it did relieve me of that, but honestly, it was a bit too, I felt like I could have passed out. So I spent like, I don't know, 20-30 minutes in the onsen and relaxed and meditated as best I could. And eventually I got to that beautiful relaxation state. And yeah, it was a great time. I like that I have a story about it. And after the onsen, then you do like an hour Thai massage. And this was the second Thai massage I ever had. The first one I had when I went to that nighttime bazaar, and I never had a Thai massage. Yeah, I never had like a Thai massage in my life. And Thai massages are freaking strong. They will like, they treat you like a ball of clay, and they use their entire bodies to like completely move things in your body that you would never move your entire life. And like the next day you'll have like some sorenesses just from like not ever moving these parts in your body. But it is relieving. I think the more you do it, the better it gets. The second time I did it, it was definitely more relaxing. The first time I was like, I didn't know what to expect, and it was a total experience. It's kind of neat because you kind of get like a bit of connection with your masseuse whatsoever, because it's so like kind of personal. And the entire time like I'm getting this massage, like we're both laughing, and it's kind of just like, I don't know, it's a different kind of experience, and it's kind of it was pretty I don't know, it's refreshing and entertaining, and just like, I don't know, it's just fun. What can I say? It was fun. Get a Thai massager. It was, as long as you're with somebody who has like a sense of humor, and it's just like sweet and fun to be with, like, you're gonna enjoy it. You probably would not enjoy it if they were very closed off people. But I had a great time doing the Thai massage, and it was a great time overall. Let me see if I missed anything really. This is a long video. Oh yeah. Let me talk about my hotel in the airport. I wanted to do a capsule hotel in the BKK airport. They had like Boxtel, which is like kind of like it's kind of like this private room where you can sleep for 4 hours. The booking was weird, so that's why I didn't do it, because I like to do my booking ahead of time, because I want to make sure that things are going to be there when I need them to be there. And so yeah, the booking was weird on the website I was using, and so I decided not to do that. But they also had these other weird capsule hotels down there too, and I wanted to do those, but I think I'm gonna save the capsule hotel experience for Japan if I do it. I'm not sure. I'm not really capsule hotel type of guy. I'm kind of claustrophobic, honestly, but I like to expose myself to my own fears, because I don't like to be limited. And so I probably will try it out eventually. But yeah, they had these capsule hotels there, but I went to like the ritziest one they had there. It was just a real hotel, and honestly that hotel was freaking one of the most swankiest places I've been to, and I was only there just to really sleep. I decided to get that because I had some test results for the C virus that I had to wait on, and so I decided just to book that for the whole day, because the booking was normal, and that way I could leave my hotel I was at early and then get there whenever I felt like it, and just go to sleep, get a good night's sleep, and then do the freaking 24 hours of flight the next day. But yeah, it was a great time. The last thing was I did the freaking Bangkok to Japan flight, 6 hours back, then Japan to California, LAX. LAX kind of sucks, I'm not gonna lie. It's very confusing. It's a very confusing airport, because half of it's like outside. I don't know why half of it's outside. I wanted to give it the benefit of a doubt, but it was probably the most confusing airport I've been to on the entire trip. But I got through it, and what else was there? Oh yeah, like the shortest one to my airport to Arizona, which was like, I don't know, roughly like an hour and a half to 2 hours. There was a big storm out in Arizona where I was going to, and they had to divert the plane over to Vegas, and I've never been to really Vegas in my entire life, and so everybody like collectively had this groan. I was kind of happy though, because I would rather not die in a freaking storm like Kobe Bryant and be diverted for a few hours over in Vegas than to go through a storm, because he was already having problems with the turbulence just in like regular area, in a regular area that wasn't stormy. So it was probably a good thing. And they had him in a holding pattern, so like he was like, we're in this holding pattern, we're basically going circles around the airport here. We don't have enough fuel to freaking do this for a long period of time. So he was like, oh, we're just gonna go over to Vegas and land and then fuel up, and then we're gonna see from there. The one thing that was bad about it was that the airlines definitely are not, they're full of red tape, and they're a bit too big for their own britches. And so there was no like real leadership when it came to what to do. When it came to being off the plane, everything was word of mouth. Nothing was like, nobody sat us down and were like, we are doing this. Nobody did that. So everybody was like, just kind of like, talking to each other, like hearing rumors about what the airline was going to do or not. So I decided I was just going to stay in the airport until things panned out. Eventually it was delayed a ton of times until eventually they figured it out. They're like, okay, we're gonna get a new pilot in here. We're gonna get new airline stewardesses and flight attendants and all that, because this plane just has to get back to the airport I was going to. And yeah, after like 6 hours of staying in Vegas airport, eating Burger King, eventually made it back to America, and well, not America, but we're in Arizona. And it took like an entire day of freaking flying, and it was something. And yeah, that was my experience with Thailand. It was a great time. I had a great time. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a great time going there. I had a great time making this vlog, I guess. And hopefully when I go on more trips in the future, I'll get better at this vlogging thing, and I can actually make better vlogs as I'm there instead of recapping things when I come back. But we'll see. Thailand was awesome, and I had a great time. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed my experiences, my story, and thank you so much for watching.